Melissa and I asked former San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown and House Speaker about what he thought about the Trump administration's ending of the DACA program. Going forward, what do you put the odds at some kind of deal being worked out for the Dreamers?
Big, big, big. Suddenly the president is aware that that's a rat hole he does not wish to go down. And believe me, when he sent his guy, Jefferson Sessions, out there to walk the plank on the 6-month extension, he didn't care what he said, just as long as he got him 6 months. And in 6 months, most of the issues surrounding the Dreamers will be behind us. And Trump will come forward, and he will say, again, probably with Chuck and Nancy, we'll only deport the ones who have criminal records. And then suddenly, none of the 800,000 and none of the 200,000 from California will have criminal records. He'll roll it again.
Okay, but you keep an eye on Democratic politics, particularly in this state. This state is still working through the idea of whether it's sanctuary city, sanctuary state, and where that line will be about who stays and who goes.
I can tell you in Sacramento, they are just coming up with anything they can think of to thwart the effects of the loss of the DACA program, whether it's backfilling federal student aid, whether it's finding ways to allow them to work in the state of California. Nothing is off the table. They're going to throw everything they can against the wall. I was there the night that the announcement happened, and everyone was angry and running around and trying to figure out what to do. I'll say this, though. Yesterday, Nancy Pelosi, or the other day, Nancy Pelosi said that as part of these negotiations, she got assurances from the president that he would sign a DACA bill if it came to his desk. Now, it would probably have to include some border security provisions. She suggested, more funding for the Coast Guard. But she said, Democrats wouldn't support a wall, but they would be able to support more money for border control.
How do they get around the wall?
I'm telling you, that's going to be his quid pro quo. He's going to insist that unsettling the Dreamer problem, you deal with his issue involving the wall. And believe me, somehow Chuck and Nancy are going to manage that.
And just last week, days after ending DACA, President Trump told the young adults who call themselves Dreamers to be more at ease. And the president first made a deal on the debt ceiling with top Democrats, Senator Chuck Schumer and Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi. Then he tweeted this, quote, "For all those DACA who are concerned about your status during the 6-month period, you have nothing to worry about. No action." Now, Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi says she asked him to send that tweet to reassure DACA recipients.
This is what I asked the president to do, and boom, 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 the tweet appeared. So that was good.
Now, Pelosi was among lawmakers from both parties who met with the president in the Oval Office.
It was a rather unusual meeting with unusual results, and we asked San Francisco's former mayor, Willie Brown, about the president's deal with top Democrats. Is this a new day?
Well, it's just like going into one of the better bars in San Francisco and finding a new friend, at least for one evening.
So you think this is all a one-night stand between Trump and the Democrats?
The world is a one-night stand between Trump and the Democrats. As a matter of fact, in some places, it's a quickie. This guy operates differently than anybody else, and all of us who deals with him do not understand that. His sincerity is demonstrated by how long you're directly in front of him.
Melissa, I want to ask you about the Democrat side of this equation, because the Republican conservative pundits are all talking about how this betrayed the conservative principles, getting a debt ceiling deal done this way. What about Democrats? They haven't been in favor of working with Trump.
Right, exactly. I mean, we've seen resist be the sort of mantra here among Democrats, at least. And now we've got a decidedly more amiable conversation. We saw pictures of hugging and giggling in the Oval Office coming to this deal. I want to say something, though, about going forward. What the president has done, what this whole situation has done, one of the things is give Paul Ryan a big hammer. Okay, you can go to those Freedom Caucus folks and say, you either get in line so the Republicans can pass something, or we see what's going to happen. That we will have to go over to the Democrats, so, settle for what you can get.
And one more thing. At all times, Trump has been of the opinion that in each step, whether it's Obamacare or whether it's any of the other things that he's tried to do, even with the Republican majority, he's been unsuccessful. He is a deal maker. He goes wherever you can produce on what he desires. And believe me, he is not in love at all with Nancy and his buddy Chuck. He will deal with Paul and Mitch. Maybe not Mitch, but certainly Paul, if he gets the opportunity. And you are right. If Paul plays it right, he could suddenly become the favorite child for Trump for the moment.
Well, it's interesting. Among Trump supporters, they just say, you know what? He's a deal maker. He made a deal. This is why we elected him. And they didn't seem that off-put at all.
It was interesting. I was watching over the weekend. Every day of the Trump administration, California's congressional Democrats have sent out press releases slamming or criticizing or doing this. This one met with virtual silence when they actually sat down together. I think it was Nancy Pelosi and Congressman Mark DeSaulnier were the only ones that I saw that put out any statement saying, "Oh, guess what happened?"
Well, normally, yeah, we get after every tweet, we get a slew of these press releases condemning everything, whatever just happened, and yeah, we really I don't think they knew that was going to happen.
I don't think the Democrats knew how to handle this.